Welcome to this lecture on formatting text and working with styles in iBooks Author. Now, iBooks Author provides a number of tools that allow you to format text. So, of course, you can select some text that we have in our book, and we can use the format bar to change things like the font size, the colors, and so forth. So, for example, like if I wanted to choose a different color for this bit of text, I can do that. If I wanted to make it bold and change the paragraph style and so forth, I can do that all from the format bar. Now the other place I can go is the format menu item in the application menu bar, and you can see that I have a category for font and I have a category for text. And finally, what we can do is we can go to our inspector, and there is a text inspector, and that's the T icon that we can see in the text inspector. So the text inspector has options related to text. It also includes options related to the list, to tabs, and there are some more advanced options as well. So lots of different ways that you can modify and format the text that you have in your book. Now, we've already talked about this, but it's very, very important to learn more about using styles and using styles correctly in iBooks Author. They really are a must for formatting text and being efficient in iBooks Author. So in order for us to apply a style or to our text, we simply select the text that we want to use. And there is in the format bar, there is the option for you to either choose a character style or to choose a paragraph style. Now the difference is that paragraph styles are applied to the entire paragraph. They can't be applied to individual characters, whereas a character style can be applied to a single character or multiple characters. So for example, if we were to apply, let's just say the block quote style, you'll see that it actually, even though we had the word New York selected, it's applied it now to the entire paragraph. So that's not exactly what we wanted to do. If I want to apply a character style instead, and maybe I'll select emphasis, you can see that it's actually now only applied it to that particular text. It actually got rid of the red color that we had, and it applied a bold face to this selected text. So that's the difference between character styles and paragraph styles. But to see all the styles that we have in our template, we can bring up the styles drawer. And I clicked on this little blue icon on the left hand side of the format bar to bring up the styles drawer. Remember that you can also bring it up using the view menu, and there is an option here related to either showing or hiding the styles drawer. The same thing is true in the view application menu bar. You can choose to show or hide the styles drawer. In the styles drawer, the styles are organized as paragraph styles, as character styles, and as list styles. So if you want to apply a style, you can either hold down these pop-up menus and then see all the styles available to you in this template and select the style that you want to apply, or you can simply apply them here. Now, one thing that you'll notice that when you're working with styles and you have the styles drawer open, when you have some text selected, so for example, if I select United States, you can see in the styles drawer, you can see the relevant style or the applicable style highlighted in blue. If I were to just place my cursor on New York City, you can see that it is still, even though it looks different, it still is considered to be a body paragraph style. And the difference here is that I actually have an arrow that looks like it's red, and if I was to click here, it shows me an arrow that is black. What the red arrow means is that I've created a style override. You create a style override anytime you change a text attribute without actually applying a style. And we can address this in a couple of different ways. So one thing that we might want to do is maybe we want to create a new style based on the way that this text looks like currently. So if I go to my styles drawer and click down on the style override arrow, you can see that I have the option to actually create a new paragraph style based on the selection. So if I was to do that, I can maybe call it test paragraph style. Okay, and I've done that. So now when I have the US selected, it tells me that the body style is applicable style. When I have my cursor on the heading, it tells me that the test paragraph style is the relevant or applicable style. So that's how we can resolve these style overrides. Now I actually have another style override here, which is the first two words, New York. And you can see that right now there is a style override here. So I can click there and I can say, redefine the style from the selection. If I was to do that, it's actually going to make all of the body text in my book bolded, right? Because it's going to take the attributes from the text that I've selected, and it's going to apply those attributes to the style that I've selected from the styles drawer. So, there's a two-way relationship or two-way option in terms of whether you choose to apply the style back to your text, or if you choose to take the styling from the text and apply it back to the style. So one other option that I have is revert to defined style. So if I do that, it's actually just going to remove the character style that I have. You can see that the character style moved from emphasis back to none. So style overrides are not a bad thing. Lots of ways that you can use style overrides. It's just that if you want to have consistency in your book, you want to make sure that you don't have too many style overrides, because if you do, then you would have to go through and modify each instance in some cases. Now there is the ability for you to replace all occurrences of a particular style. So let's say that we want to take all of our test paragraph styles and actually replace them with something else. I can go to my edit menu, go to find. I'm going to bring up the find and replace, but instead of the simple view, I'm going to go to the advanced view. And what I'm going to say is, look for any style or any bit of text that has the test paragraph style associated with it, and I want you to turn it into maybe heading 2. Okay, so now I can actually go through and hit the next button. It's going to go and find the style for me, the next occurrence of this style, and give me the option to replace it. Or if I'm pretty confident that this is what I want to do, I can just hit the replace all button and it'll go through that process. And you can see that it's only found one instance of the test paragraph style being used. So I'll go ahead and replace that. And you can see that that's what happened. It went through and replaced the style only. So now if I select New York, you can see that heading 2 is the applicable style. Now the last thing I just want to cover here on styles is how do you delete styles and how do you rename styles. So in my case, I've got this test paragraph. I want to delete it. It's not being used at all. If I want to make sure that this style is not being used anywhere, you can go to select all uses of test paragraph style. And in this case, it actually reverted back because I clicked this. And so let's just go back and hit heading 2. Okay, so now if I go select this, I can see that there actually aren't any uses of the test paragraph style because none of the text is in my book is using this. So if I want to delete this style, I can simply hit delete style. If I want to rename it, I can rename the style to say heading 10, right? So it's pretty easy to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and just delete this style altogether and go back to what we had. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of working with text in iBooks Author. Again, remember that you have the option of using the format bar, you have the option of using the format menu, and you also have the text inspector. And you pair that with the concept of paragraph styles and character styles, and that really gives you some additional power around having a consistent look and feel throughout your whole book. Okay, so with that, we're going to conclude this lecture on styles on iBooks Author.